Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Cassandra. I'm with Pecan Porch Boutique, and Happy New Year to everybody. Yep, it's New Year's Day 2021, and hopefully we'll have a better year than we had in 2020. So anyway, I thought we started this vintage chair makeover on my live, and I thought I would go ahead and finish it up over on my YouTube channel, and kind of walk you through the steps for sealing it, and a few other little surprises that we have to kind of doll it up a little bit. So so if you don't follow me, please go over to my YouTube channel at Pecan Porch Boutique and subscribe, and check out the finish of this beautiful vintage chair. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think what I decided was, if you guys can catch up on the live, but we took some DIY black velvet and we covered the entire chair with that, watered down so as to not to have it be crunchy. And we took the watered down paint and we did it all over the frame as well. So what I've decided is that I want to go ahead and go back over the frame part of the chair with the black velvet that's not watered down, because I want to do a wet distress, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So that's going to be what I start on now. I'm going to go ahead and go back over the frame with the black velvet, but not the watered down black velvet, just the straight black velvet. Well, it's a little bit watered down because the paint's really thick, but it's not really watered down. So anyway, and again, any of these products that you see me use, you guys can jump over to my website at www.pecanporchboutique.com and grab these for your own project. Okay? All right. So here we go. Okay, so for the most part, I got really good coverage with this. You can see that parts of this is darker and parts are lighter. The darker parts are still drying. It's where the paint is still wet. And the lighter part is where it's already dried. So this is after 3 coats. And I think that I got really good coverage for 3 coats. And I used my little Paint Pixie Dream 8. Was really good in getting around the frame with less watered down paint, so that I got a better coverage along the frame area, because I want to do a little bit of wet distressing. But one thing I wanted to say is that DIY paint is a clay-based paint, so once it dries lighter than the original color. But once we put the top coat on, it'll bring that darker color back. So this is after 3 coats. There are some areas of this chair that were pretty stubborn. And so they didn't, there's a little bit like right here that I can still see of the original color, and a little bit in here. And I may go back and do a few touch-ups, or I may just leave it. I'm not sure. But for the most part, I think we got really good coverage compared to where we first started. So I'm going to let the frame dry, and then we're going to come back and do our next step. So we're back, you guys, and the frame of this chair is dry now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some wet distressing to pull back some of the detail in this really pretty carving here, and maybe on the arms. I brought you in a little bit closer so you could kind of see what I'm going to do here. And what I mean by wet distressing, there's a couple ways you can distress furniture. You can use the traditional method, which most people use, which is with sandpaper. And then there are other tools that you can use to distress as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet distress this piece. And what I mean by wet distress is I'm actually going to take this towel from the dollar store, and I'm going to take this nice little nifty little potato salad container, and I'm going to, you know, use this rag to wet distress some of the carvings on the back of this chair. And so basically I'm just going to dip my rag in the water and squeeze it out. You can see here. Just dip it in and squeeze it out. And then we're going to take and we're going to pull back some of that original finish that was on this chair because it's so pretty. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we're done with the wet distress, and I pulled you guys in just a little so you could see how I pull back some of that original wood underneath this chair, underneath the paint that was already on the chair. And I've also done that on the arms and on the legs, and so that just kind of gives it a little bit more of an original look. So, you know, despite the fact that we painted the whole thing, pulling back some of this paint off, which is what we did with the wet distress, kind of gives it back that original look that it had in the beginning. So wet distress is a really good option for when you are indoors, so that way you don't have stuff flying all over the place. So we're going to let this all dry now, and then we're going to come back and we're going to seal it. Okay, you guys, so I have already sealed up the arms and the legs of this chair with a DIY Big Top. Big Top is a water-based sealer, and so we're going to go ahead now, and I'm going to let you guys kind of watch me do the top frame and some of the arms. I won't do too much of the cushion right now because the chair is still drying. But we'll get some of it on, and then you can see how once I put this top coat on, that it will not only protect your chalk paint project, but it'll also bring that rich color back in. Okay? All right, here we go.
Christine also has a good idea what his motive might have been. Even though Josephine and Christine Todaro had broken up, she kept track of different occurrences in her ex's life. And she knew that he'd been dating a woman who was attractive and older and had money. And they said, well, do you know her name? She said, yeah, I know her name. Very popular at the time. Name's Cynthia George. So where's the common denominator? Where's the connection between Josephino and Jeff Black? Well, the connection was at the Tangiers, Cynthia George. This is not a love triangle so much as it was a love squad. while Cynthia George was married to Edgy, she was having affairs with both Jeff Zack and police determined John Zaffino.
John was kind of a blue-collar guy, and Cindy originally was a blue-collar woman, so maybe there was this attraction there.
How much she really got deep into a relationship with John Zaffino is possibly still a question. But their relationship developed at least significantly.
At this point, Cynthia is refusing to speak with investigators and does not admit to an affair with John. But DMV records provide detectives with another piece of evidence.
They discovered that, lo and behold, a month before Jeff Zack's death, why had John Zaffino purchased a motorcycle? And not just any motorcycle, a black and lime green motorcycle, like the one seen at the crime scene.
My captain, Beth Doherty, found the motorcycle in Pennsylvania on a publication called Cycle Trader. And that's when my Schaefer and I were tasked with going to recover it.